Sunday shop, do 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 do. Sunday shop, do 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 do. Sunday shop, do 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 do. Ah, hello, hello, hello. Willkommen. Bienvenue. Bonjour. ¿Cómo estás? Ciao. Hola. Good afternoon. Konnichiwa. And all the others that I keep forgetting every week to remember. Because I'm old and crap. Howdy, Chewy. How you doing? Yes, can't forget the chow. I always thought chow sounded like someone smushed together Chairman Mao into one word. Hello, Steph and Sky. Hello, hello. Willkommen. All is well. All is well indeed. Mary's first week proper only job went well. I had a week from Carnageville at work. One of those weeks where everything that could go wrong went wrong. Yeah, one of them. Things not turning up, things turning up late, things being delivered to the wrong store, people being off on holiday, people being off sick. Cool dear, everyone's showing up. Look at this. Hello, Muppet and Tim of Crypt Keeper and Mary Page. Hello, hello. Hope all is well with you, my dear Mary. My other dear Mary, obviously. Weather really bad on the east coast of Canada, sending the military worst hurricane recorded in history. Ooh, ouch. Sounds a bit blowy and moist. Um, yeah, anyone on that side of the the Atlantic? Get my directions right. Best wishes. Hope all is well. Hope you're okay. No, category 4. Ooh, yeah. I'm not sure what the October '87 storm was qualified as in the end because they called it a hurricane at the time, but technically it wasn't a hurricane. I don't think. But yeah, it took down 1 million trees in the south of England. Cape Breton got hit the worst. Tim's in New York and it's just cloudy. Well, at least it's not snowing. That's always a bonus. And then, as some of you may have noticed, either from the title or the thumbnail, I don't know which way it's coming out because to me it looks backwards, but yes, we have tentative merch. Snow is coming sooner. Yes. Well, what happened was I won a T-shirt on Aquarium Adventures live stream, and it took a while to get here. I'm not going to lie, because the person who makes the shirts, because they're not printed, this is stitched, so embroidered in, got rather busy, as you know. Making the odd shirt for a YouTuber is, takes second fiddle to large corporate orders, obviously, as you have to understand, and I do. So I didn't get snotty. Well, that T-shirt turned up this week, and I thought that's quite a big package for one T-shirt. Well, I didn't even know what was in it to be starting. And so I got past lined it up. I was like, oh, cool T-shirt. Cool, it's the Aquarium Adventures T-shirt. Unfold it, and this dropped out as well. I wasn't expecting it at all. So, yes, Fish and Phantoms. So yes, a very nice surprise to find in the parcel. I have just messaged the guy that's responsible to see if he would be willing to do others, if other people might like a piece of merch. I mean, I can't imagine many would, because let's be honest, niche channel, weird Englishman, not exactly cool. But yes, there we go. We have merch possible. At least I have something with the channel name on it, so when I'm wandering around fish stores and things like that, I can represent and look professional. Evening, Yella. How you doing? Oh, Sky wants one. Yep. I'll chat to the person responsible and then see whether we can come to an agreement. The money would be going to him. Because as I said, no, he's the one doing all the work. I'm just sitting here looking ugly. So if anyone wants one, he'll get the work. The way you support the channel is by wearing it, letting other people see that you're wearing it, and they might think, why has that person got that written on their shirt? And then perhaps Google it, perhaps watch a video. Probably think, oh my God, why would someone want to advertise that? He must be paying them. Want to peel me and wear me as a skin suit? Probably wouldn't fit, to be honest. Be a bit, yeah. Yeah. Nobody wants this skin. You know how Rolls-Royce only want cows from fields without barbed wire or things like that. Yeah, Gacy. Yeah, it's getting a bit Gacy-esque there, isn't it? So Rolls-Royce only take leather from cows that have been raised in fields without barbed wire, things like that. So there are no nicks in the hide for their seats. Yeah, Rolls-Royce wouldn't use this. Hell, Pontiac wouldn't use this. Buick wouldn't. From what I've seen of Buicks, I think they're mostly made out of recycled products anyway. Yeah, old beer cans. Although, to be truthful, you could probably make a pretty decent engine block if you melted them all down, but that's not the joke. So anyway, that aside, I've not got any videos to waffle about this week. What with Monday being Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II's funeral, a very somber and moving affair for most Englishmen and women and Commonwealthians. Good morning, Adele. How are you, my dear? Hope you are doing well. So yeah, that's why I didn't do a video on Monday, because respect. And then Friday I didn't do a video because I got called into work at short notice due to people being off sick. And me being a nice person said, well, yes, I will do 7 hours overtime on my day off. But never mind. It's all money in the bank at the end of the day. And a tick in the Sharpe was a good boy box rather than Sharpe was a scummer box. Pardon me. Evening, Clark. How you doing? Thursday off is National Day of Mourning for the Queen. Yeah. A lot of economic issues. Not really. We had a mini budget about tax breaks, but yeah, basically nothing that will affect anyone like me. I don't earn enough for it to make a difference. Literally. And definitely not enough to offset the cost of living increase. But hey, it's a start anyway. Yeah, so on Monday, virtually everywhere was closed. We were closed at work. All the supermarkets were shut. Most shops were closed, causing panic on Sunday when everyone realised everywhere was shut and they needed to go out and buy a whole load of extra food to get through that one extra day. Anticipating an increase in home heating. No muck, Sherlock. Yeah, I think they're saying that basically the cost of electricity. Well, they've capped it. They've capped it at £2,450 at the moment, I think. Yeah. Which is way more than I pay, so it's not, the cap isn't going to help me at all. But yeah, the cost of electric's going up through the roof. And as everything I have runs on electric, yeah. So my electric bill is going to be going up. I think they're talking, doubled. And also coming up into that time of year when everyone puts the bloody heating on, so and is home more and cooks more because it's cold, so you want something hot. Yeah. British pound and US dollar. Unless the pound has crashed in the last couple of weeks. I mean, it's nowhere near what it used to be. It used to be going back many a moon. It used to be about $2.30 to the pound. I think it's about $1.30 now, something like that. Looking at a wind turbine, I generate enough. Certainly generate enough wind, that's for sure. Exactly, I could. You know the old saying, save gas, fart in a jar. Who cares what the loonies do? Yeah, true. Oh, Clark's been decaving some bristlies. Good, good, good. It's one of the things that makes breeding bristlenoses a lot easier. Get them out of the cave as soon as they hatch. It's getting that timing right of the 5 days, which is what it takes mine. Get that right, it's a whole lot easier because then you're not chasing 150 odd bristlenoses around in there. There are about half a dozen escapees in there. There's a couple right there. There's one in there somewhere that's a good couple of inches long that I haven't managed to catch yet. So yeah, decaving, the best thing to do. Assuming you want to keep them and then end up with like tank upon tank full of them. There are some very interesting questions about who may be on money and when it happens. Yeah. So I'm the bottom of the food chain when it comes to economics and monies and stuff. So most of it doesn't. Decaving is better than degloving. Oh yes, if you know what degloving is, yeah, that's not pleasant. I've not seen it myself. I've seen close. Yeah, coronation not until after the new year. Yes, we don't rush these things. It's not like there's any real kind of. We know who the king is. We knew who he's going to be 40 years ago. Well, actually, how old is he? in the 60s or 70s. So yeah, we knew like 60, 70 years ago who the next king was going to be. So yeah, it's not exactly a surprise. Um, I mean, it's yeah, 73. Yeah, I thought it was something like that. But yeah, so yeah, it's not like it's come all of us. Well, it's come all of a sudden because you know I think we were starting to think, oh, Lilybet. I think we were thinking she might be functionally immortal. To go for as long as she did. And I'm going with longest serving monarch ever. I know Louis XIV technically was longer, but that was only because he became king regent at like 4 years old. And I'm sorry, 4 years old, you're not a king. You know, you're not leading a country at 4 years old. Yeah, King Charles will not be setting a new record. If he does set a new record, then we've got some questions to ask. Imagine how powerful it would be if he learns to read and write. That's the thing, he can. He's even learned how to speak lately as well, which is quite interesting. You've probably seen how Boris Johnson has been taken and decided he's not going to speak like that anymore. Um, but yeah, best of luck to him, I say. It's not a job I'd want, that's for sure. Uh, far too much work for me. I'm much happier pottering around a bit in a warehouse, serving a few customers, coming home, changing some water and feeding some fish. So, oh, pardon me. Um, so yeah, technically, I suppose technically I have three jobs, but that's only if you consider breeding and selling fish and doing YouTube as jobs. I'll get paid for them, so technically, come on, let's get out of top chat, you stupid machine. The reason I was a bit late setting the stream up today was computer playing silly buggers. Don't consider OnlyFans a job. Well, again, that's something nobody, well, maybe one or two people might sign up for, but ain't nobody wants to see this reclining and in a mankini or anything like that. Nobody wants to see that. Um, we did have some more good news though from YouTube in that from next year at some point, I don't know whether it's the start of the year or whenever, but shorts will be monetizable as well. So yeah, like, I don't underestimate the perversions of the internet. I created a lot of them. I've been yeah, just as Mufti turns up. Howdy, sir. Do you have any omnibuses? Uh, Not that I know of. I mean, we've got modern, up to date buses. Well, relatively. Yeah, we've got double deckers and single deckers and coaches. Um, but I don't think there's any omnibuses. We do get the occasional steam train come through Attleborough. Yeah, the horse buses. Yeah, not that I'm aware of. There might be one somewhere in a transport museum because there is a couple of those around here. I say around here. There's one up on the Norfolk coast, which is part of a castle. I can't remember where it was, but yeah, um, yeah, one that used for tourism. Yeah, it's Plenty of horses around here. But yeah, no omnibuses or shower banks around this part of the world, or trams. Quite a few tramps, but no trams. And no yellow. I didn't say trans. I said trams. Oh, I did see a Trans Am the other day. Is that an immigrant? Technically, I don't know. Because Trans Am is an abbreviation for Trans American, isn't it? That's an interesting one. I'm sure I could upset some people with that if I tried. Not too hard. Yeah. So yeah, I think I've pretty much just managed to upset the entire red-blooded American card person demographic, but you know, I might have to join an American car page on Facebook and see if I can upset everyone and get kicked out within 5 minutes. I've done that before on many a page. Hey, I'm a troll, I admit it. Yeah, what else have I been up to this week? Work, water changes, work, sleep, work, sleep, work. Yeah, been one of those weeks. We did visit a couple of churches today, Wicklewood and Kimberley. I didn't bother with any videos from Wicklewood because the exterior looked like pretty much any other church around here, and we couldn't get inside. And there wasn't really that much of any interesting history to do with it. Then we went to the Kimberley Church. Kimberley is a small hamlet, and that was a rather interesting one. So I did do a couple of videos there. Yes, that's definitely got a haunting there, which I found. I think rather than being a sentient or intelligent spirit, it's more of a loop, something just replaying again and again. Yes, it was the entrance to a crypt, which is always kind of spooky when you find a cold spot that comes and goes just outside of a crypt. Yeah. And then the interior of the church also came as quite a surprise. It was a very pretty little church. It's had a lot of money spent on it. I think it might still be attached to Kimberley Hall, which is owned by the Baron of Norfolk. What part of England isn't haunted? Yeah, pretty much. Good point. I think probably some of the new build estates aren't yet, although the land is probably already haunted. And we've had a fair bit of rain as well lately, which is always good. That's some water in the ditches, and the streams are starting to fill back up again. On my one day off, I did actually take a bike ride down to Harvard Woods. I did film a bit of a video down there. It is probably just black though, because it was almost dark when I got there. I did see a couple of things. When I get round to actually looking at the video and deciding whether it's uploadable or not, yeah, I know it's going to be a low bar. It's one of my videos. So when I get round to looking at it, if it's uploadable, I'll upload it. If not, I'll go back and film again. This is a very interesting place, to me anyway. and it is a favoured local suicide spot. So yes. Why do I always start talking about really bad things when people join? Evening, Danny boy. Oh, Danny boy. And M&C, how are you, sir? Hope all is well with you. Oh, Mutton Cut. And also, before anyone says, yes, I know they're looking cloudy. Bacterial blooms, don't worry about it. Yeah, very nice. I have asked, I'm looking if I can possibly get some made for people, if people do want them. They wouldn't come through me, they would come directly from the person that makes them. And yes, so all embroidered rather than printed. Well, I think, if anything, the shipping would be a killer. To any of my American friends that may want one, that would be the killer, the shipping. Because you don't want to know how much it would cost to send something across the pond. It was bad enough several years ago. Well, and it was bad enough, what, three maybe years, 2, 3 years ago, something like that. When I sent something to Marriott in Norway, which isn't that far away. Evening, Silver Creek, how you doing? Driving along, well, drive safe. Keep your eyes on the road. Oh, is it it's the Clash this weekend, isn't it? You're perfectly welcome to, Sky. I don't have this is as close to an official logo as I have, so if you want, go for it. I don't mind. I say it's free advertising. You know, 'cause if, for example, there were a couple of people wandering around at the Clash with that, then I might get a few more subscribers. Or not. People either seem to get me and my sense of humour, or they don't. Yeah, I say if anyone does want to get a shirt or something made up with Sharpe's Fishing Phantoms on it, go for it. I'm not going to be on copyright. I'm pretty sure Phil wouldn't either. So I think it's a fairly standardised font. I think about the only time I'd actually bother about copyright is if someone basically took a chunk of one of my videos and used it without asking or crediting. Not that I think most people probably would want anything I've filmed in any of their videos. Although saying that, Scott did once King and Queen cichlids as some of my footage in one of his videos. And the video is actually up on YouTube, but it's set to private. Weirdly, it's got more than one view. Nearly shirt go well with the tattoo of my face. That's definitely going to scare people away. Yeah, like that a tattoo of this on someone's back. Yeah, that would freak anyone out. Actually, I wonder how like famous people like footballers or musicians feel when they see someone with a tattoo of their face on them. Oh, thank you very much, Sky. Hello, Debbie. How are you? You're doing happy smileys, so I'll assume all is well. Yeah, where were we? I don't know. I'm making it up as I go along, if you couldn't tell, as usual. Yeah, so I did, something did come to mind earlier to talk about. It occurred to me that when I'm filming something that is of a paranormal origin, howdy Greg, how you doing? Um, so yeah, when I'm filming something of a paranormal, I tend to be very matter of fact and blasé, kind of, oh yeah, this happened. In my normal way, I don't get all excited or ah, or ooh, or anything. It's just, this is what happened. This is what I experienced. Now, I do it that way because to me, most of these things are relatively normal. I've been experiencing them for years and years and on a daily basis sometimes. And we got the same week off, Debbie. People are going to start asking questions. Oh dear. One more week of work and then I'm off for a week. Yes. People are going to start asking. Oh, um, I feel sorry for you if they do. Um, yeah, so what are your thoughts on that? I mean, the way I do present the paranormal. Am I too blunt, matter of fact? Would you prefer I got more animated or excited about it or scared? Right? Because if I try doing these things, it's not me. I've always prided myself on whatever I put in a video is my honest opinions and thoughts at the time, my honest reactions to something, rather than being all, oh wow, yeah, awesome, oh my god. And I'm like, oh cool. That's just me in general, is the way I am. I tend not to get all that excited about things. Might be an age thing or a jaded thing. For the authenticity, yeah. So this is Mary and I were talking about it. And yeah, it's the way I do it. But if I tried to be more the other ways, I think it would be obvious that I was putting it on because A, I can't act, and B, anyone who knows me at all knows that I'm not going to be getting all that animated unless something really serious happens. Um, you know, like something unseen grabs me by the leg and drags me off somewhere. Then I might get a bit animated. Um, Claw marks suddenly appear. Well, the sky just got tornado warning, so if you don't say anything, the internet's gone. Okie dokie. Well, stay safe. If you've got a tornado shelter and you need to get into it, get into it. Because things can be replaced, but you can't. Wait, make calls at dead people at 3 a.m. Hey, I'll do that already. Um, normally, will you bloody shut up? I'm trying to sleep. Or will you stop nipping my bloody feet, Zach? Yes, I know my feet aren't where you want them, but stop bloody nipping them. I'm trying to sleep. Yeah. This what I say. To me, that's just a part of normal everyday life. That's not. it's it's oh, there's a ghost cat nipping my toes because my feet are where he wants to lay down. Oh well. Yeah, and don't do what I have seen people do, which is hang around a little too long and film to get some video footage of a tornado or something, and they, yeah, don't, just get somewhere safe. That's Yeah. Yes. Get in the shelter, put your head between your knees, and kiss your butt goodbye. I think was the joke, wasn't it? He says, paraphrasing and politenizing it. Internet clout is not worth your life. It isn't, no. But it's amazing what people do for a few views. It says the guy who has no shame. So, that's the other thing I did hear this week is that Twitch are changing their monetization policy. So the Twitch streamers get less of the money, and the Twitch themselves do. One hit Edmonton mid-80s on the way out of town. So we had a tornado in Attleborough about 10 years ago. If I recall rightly, it blew a few tiles off roofs and then blew over a couple of like the sandwich boards outside shops, and that was about it. Most people didn't even realise what had happened. I literally went for my break at work, and someone in the canteen went, "Oh, there was a tornado a little while ago." Like, oh, really? Whatever. Same experienced very minor earthquakes as well. So all part of the climate change, I'm suspecting, Chewy. Twisty wind, yeah. A spinny fart. A spinny sky fart. That's what a tornado is. What's that thing that makes the water go one way around the plug hole in northern? Not the areola effect, Coriolis effect. That's it. So would a tornado spin the opposite direction in the southern hemisphere? Twisted, does she have a sister? Yes. And that's one meme that made me literally laugh out loud was Dee Snider is like addressing all the people who are using "We're Not Going to Take It" as their like theme song for all the. And he's like, you do realize you are the people that song is made about. This guy gets in the closet with the swords in. Yeah, that's probably a better idea to take the swords out of the closet before, just in case. Although if you take them out of the closet, and there's a chance that there's going to be swords flying around. So, yeah, Dee is a character. But like a lot of rockers, a lot smarter than people give him credit for. As they found when they took him to court in the 80s. Was that, I'm saying Mary Whitehouse because she was the English version. Was it Tipper Gore? One responsible for the parental advisory labels on records that have got sweary words in or adult themes. Yeah. Yeah, thinking to it now, yeah. Yes, she's. Tipper Gore is mentioned in the Manic Street Preachers track. If white America told the truth for one day, its whole world would fall apart. Yes, that is the song title. Yeah, hell, we had Iggy Pop as a DJ on Radio 2 for a while. Yeah, Judas Priest case was just as ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, the argument on that one was the fact that the song was called Suicide Solution. But yeah, it's ridiculous. We can't have these artists saying things that we don't agree with. Burn their records. This book is unsuitable for children. Get it out of our libraries. Yeah, the PMRC. Yeah. Yes. Basically, all they achieved, right? When you think about it, Bruce Dickinson took Warpath for America. Oh dear. I'm all putting that little sticker on the records, or it's printed on nowadays. It's not even stuck on. That just made kids want to buy that record more because they weren't supposed to have it. How does that work? It's like the age ratings on movies, as I remember it from a kid, PG 15 and 18. It was like, oh, yeah, let's watch this. It's 18 rated. Back when you're 13 or 14. Yeah, it's 18 rated. And then half the people who were there had nightmares. Yeah. Yeah. Try explaining to someone's mother that the reason their child is having nightmares, or your friend is having nightmares at the age of 11 or 12, is because they sat and watched Nightmare on Elm Street with you. Doesn't go down well. How some Muzak is today, they would have had a stroke. Yep, they would. It's, I say some of these are now. It's when you get the reactors reacting to certain songs. Some of them, I like the song, but I purely watch the reaction because I know what the lyrics are, and I know that person is going to take great offence. Especially things like "Closer" by 9 Inch Nails or "Daddy" by Korn. I wouldn't have reacted to Clowncore. Oh dear. Probably not as badly as I would have reacted to Howard Barker reacted to Clowncore. Bark, not nachos, yes. Clowncore probably wouldn't have understood it, but the thing with metal is it does share a lot with classical music. Not necessarily a standard straight four on the floor thrash, but other forms are very similar. It's just electrified. You could have a symphony orchestra playing and get the same music, basically. Hence symphonic metal. Graham Greene. I know that word. Word name. Yeah, I can't remember the band. Handel, Telman. Yeah, Bach is bad. Yeah, this metal tends to be more Wagnerian. Nightwish especially has got quite a bit of Wagner in it, or Wagner, whichever way you want to put it. So it's just the feel and the way the music is put together. They do share a lot in common. And I'm doing lots of hand gestures just outside of camera range as usual. Yeah, I mean, I don't listen to a lot of classical music, unsurprisingly, but I'd rather listen to that than mumble rap. Heck, I'd rather just listen to fish tanks than mumble rap. Hey, Norwegian black metal, yes. Let's murder our bandmates and burn down the churches. Woo! Luckily, Marit's not here, or she might have something to say about that. Yeah, I mean, if I listen to modern music, It's a band that's been around for decades that's put out a new record, as it were. Yeah, I know I'm classical like the Two Live Crew. Yeah, there's certain Two Live Crew song they won't play either. Yeah, stopped experimenting with new bands after the 90s. Yeah, pretty much. And there are some now that I listen to that I didn't listen to when they first started up. Bandmade, yes, they are interesting. I've got to admit, I do prefer to be able to understand what is being sung. So whether it's in English, um, Rammstein, I can follow the music and the lyrics just about because they're generally not too complex. German isn't too difficult to decipher. Um, yeah, most of the stuff I listen to is in English. Probably 99%, either English or American English. There's some Canadian English in there as well. Which I think for the purposes, we can call that English. Um, Somewhere around here, I've got a couple of Brian Adams albums, and some Shania Twain, I think, as well somewhere. Um, and Rush, obviously. Everyone has a copy of 2112. Classic Motorhead on the radio. Cool. Yes. Although when it was just two of us at work, I did switch the radio station over to um, one of the metal ones. So that went down well. Not my fault the other person can't reach to change the channel, is it? Um, Funny enough, I did that. We closed. Then when we came in the morning, when I came in literally 3 hours after opening, it all been changed back. Brian Adams, yes. I think I've got 18 till I die, somewhere on tape. Excuse Siskin. Pass. Yeah, what other ones? I'm trying to think what other Canadian. No, I haven't got the other Canadian band. Nothing of theirs. Yes, we all know that band that shall not be named. Something to do with when you used to have a pop drink in a glass bottle, and then you take it back to the store, and they'd give you some money back. Yes. Although it might help if you spelt book correctly, but mowing with Sharpe. How you doing, Tampa Tom, you mad mower? Yeah, I didn't need that translation. Others might. I knew it. Mow safe, Tampa Tom. And don't run over any dog poop. That was actually a sign on one of the church gates today. Was please pick up after your dogs. It makes a mess of the mower bed. Too late on the poop. Aren't you in Florida? So is it dog, human, or what? Yeah, I wouldn't be. Yeah, Tampa is in Florida, isn't it? Yeah. Just double checking on my geography there. Which you don't weed whack it. Oh yeah, been there. Been there, done that with cat poop. Oh, grim. Yep. You get that fine line across both your shins of just cat poop smear. I've been listening to Satyricon and Behemoth. 70s kids still at heart. Well, I am a 70s kid. I just don't really remember the 70s. Within Temptation, I'm on a pagan. Yeah, yeah, they are. They're definitely not a Christian metal band. Um, yeah, and if you're weed whacking, Tom, also watch out for rabbits and frogs. Yeah, yeah. It's I sing about all sorts of stuffs. But as I say, write what you know. You know, if I was going to write a book, it would be a rather dark horror. I wouldn't be very good. I'm not going to say I'll be good at writing a horror story, but I'll be better at that than I would a romantic literature. Pardon me. Trying to place the band what I think it is. Well, the easy answer to that is just when I finished my stream. No, just type it in a YouTube search bar and see what comes up. That's usually what I do. And I do urge anyone who hasn't to check out Tommy Johansson, um, the guitarist from Sabaton, as we were talking about last week. And yeah, sometimes, yeah, having I don't mean to sound sexist, but having a pretty girl to look at usually makes things better. Especially Dutch girls. Dutch girls are rather. He says, you got Floor Jansen and Simone Simons, so Sharpe's going to get cancelled now. I've been cancelled for years. I just haven't realised it yet. Um, exactly. Yeah, true. Yeah, Italians, Portuguese. Yeah, lots of ravishing beauties in the world of metal. This is Chris Pratt. Thank you very much, Adele. Nothing to do with me. It was a very unexpected freebie that was gifted to me. I say very unexpected. I had no idea. So, yes. I won a T-shirt in another stream from some weird Scottish dude, and it took a while because the guy who makes the T-shirts was busy with corporate orders and the stuff that actually pays the bills. So I'm not upset. I wasn't gonna go, where's my T-shirt? I demand my T-shirt. It's been more than 3 days. No, I'm not going to do that because I know how the world works. He does this for me, and he does uh, Graham's merch as a bit of a side thing when they got a bit of time, knock out a few. But when they got big corporate orders come in that want 1,000 of this and 2,000 of that. I mean, they're going to do those first, you know, because that's what pays all the bills. Belladonna gave music to the Italian Chiclet Association for educational content. That is awesome. Very cool. Thank you very much, Richie. I hope you're having a good one yourself. I do like it. It's kind of plain and basic, and it's not all frills and multiple colours and loud or anything. It's just basically just says the name. There's nothing on the back or any prints or anything. And being embroidered means it's gonna last. It's not gonna come off in the wash or start flaking off after a couple of weeks like some of them can do. Thank you very much, Debbie. So I have made contact with the guy that makes them and see if we can work something out. I say work something out if he's willing to make them, if people want them. Then I can give out his email address to contact for what he'd like, and then he can back and forth with prices and things. Because I'm sure he's not just done it once and then deleted the file. It is, after all, and I mean, if people wear it, it's free advertising for me. If I wear it, people see it and want one, they go to him, he makes money. That's the way it all works. I'll see what I can sort out. I know he does t-shirts, fleeces, hoodies, beanies, polos, obviously, multiple colours, and so you probably have to specify what colour you liked and etc. Actually, I'll grab the t-shirt while I'm here. While I've still got the urge to be able to stand up. Because obviously there's only one t-shirt I was going to choose from the available choices. So we have the Aquarium Adventures logo on the sleeve. And this sucks with a pleco on the front. So that was the one I was obviously going to choose. There wasn't even a choice in the matter, was there, really? Let's be honest. Oh. And yeah, he does towels as well. So got the puffer with this blows. So there we go. Cheerio, governor. Got to run to the pharmacy. Oh, Yella's off for his weed. Or prescription. Have a good one and stay safe, bud. Yes. I would say enjoy, but I don't think anyone actually enjoys going to a pharmacy. I never have done. Generally, the only time you go to a pharmacy is when you're ill. It's like going to the doctors. You never go to the doctor when you're healthy. And as I always find, you go to the doctors with one thing and you're guaranteed to come out with a cold afterwards, or a flu, or something like that. Yeah. Go in with a sprained wrist and come out with the flu. Just the way it works. Which leads me to another thing is, yes, it's that time of year. The kids have gone back to school. They're back to school for a couple of weeks, and everyone starts coming down with things. Because the dirty little buggers are like petri dishes. And they've been apart for 5 weeks. They get them back together again, and all the diseases start coming out. hate going to the doctors. Probably undiagnosed cancer and just don't want to know about it. Yeah, that's another one. I don't want to go and like doctor does a bunch of basic tests, blood pressure and things like that, and yeah, they get told, oh, you got this and this and this, and you need to take this, and we need to change this with your diet, and you need to do more exercise, and can't I just die middle-aged, fat and happy? Do I have to live to 112? I don't really want to. I'd rather keel over having enjoyed life than, well, I mean, I'm a miserable old bugger as it is, but rather not be really miserable. I'm really old. The old people, if you just gave them a shake, they'd rattle with the amount of pills they take. And probably got about 3 things wrong with them. They have to take about 20 pills to count all the side effects. So, yeah, no. No thanks. I'm bad enough. I know I need a new pair of glasses. I'm even putting that off. I don't know. Well, I know why. It's because of the expense. But Marriott, my darling, how are you? Hope you're well and haven't murdered anyone yet this week. Ooh. Oh, there's a combination hiccup burp in the middle of saying it. Hope all is well with you, my dear. Ooh. Ooh. Just woke up, you're ill. Oh no. You haven't got corona, you haven't got COVID again, have you? Not again, Marriott. Oh dear. Are you going? I'll say if it is, are you going for some kind of record? The person who's had it the most times. Got just normal. I'll say just the normal flu. Yeah, when you got flu, yeah, flu sucks. It's nasty. Given what I experienced the time I had flu, proper full-on influenza flu, and the time I had COVID, I'd rather have COVID. Yeah. Can't get an appointment. Mine not been for a couple of years. I'd normally get an appointment. That's not really an issue. Because my doctors know that if I'm calling them up for something, then yeah, I need to see someone. But yeah, a lot of it is, and I don't mean to denigrate what people have, because whatever you have at the time is the worst thing. But people do go to the doctors with a headache or with a cold or some kind of minor injury. And it's like, why are you going to the doctor with that and taking up an appointment space? Although, so the last time I didn't actually go to the doctors because of aforementioned human malware. It was a telephone appointment, but that worked well because it was brainy, mentally stuff, not physically I am ill stuff. So I didn't really need to see someone. That worked well because I got signed off work for 5 weeks. And then I quit. Yeah, so it's always good when you get signed off. And generally, other times I go to the doctors, it's like, hello, Mr. Sharpe, how are you? What have you done this time? Because it's normally an injury. It's normally a broken bone or ligament or tendon damage or something like that. Ew. 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 Just fed the Shellies and I've got Shelly food stuck all over my fingers. So, should we have a look at some fishies? We've had enough of my ugly mug, haven't we? Let's have a quick look at some pretty little fishies. Oh, we got that way. I'll get it right one of these weeks. I'll actually turn the camera the correct direction. There we go. So Shelly Dwellies, doing what Shelly Dwellies do, chasing around little bits of food and multiplying. Yep, nearly dark. And then, yes, Blackmageddon. How many plex can one person have? Answer, all of them. Oh, yeah, that one definitely needs the filter cleaning. Got my milk. Oh, even that one. With all the little linears in it. I say little. She's pregnant. Yeah, if the snails are coming up to the top. Not a good sign. Oh dear. Boys ordered dinner. He went to the door and was wiped out. Yeah. That sounds like flu to me. So we have Happy Cara having a snooze. Rainbow Fishy. Dwarf Neon. Black Neons. Corridories. There's another Cara back there hiding. Somewhere over there is the algae infested swamp with more bristly noses, although that's where we have the 3/4 size bristle nose. The I would say the mutant is a birth defect. It basically has no tail on it. Oh, Greg's doing the right things, heading to the LFS to sell fish. You do that, my friend. You go in there with fish, you come out with money. That's the way to do it. I mean, if everyone does that, they don't stay in business very long. But you know, if you can go there and sell fish, bonus. Now, do I clean that filter out tonight, or do I leave it till tomorrow when I do all my water changes? Looking at that, I think we're going to do that tonight. Do we want to see a Sharpie cleaning out a filter live? Let me just check the kecks are pulled up and we'll go for it, shall we? Sharpie degunking a pleco filter. Bear in mind, this filter, or these filters, were all cleaned out on Monday. So let's grab a pot. Pull the lid. Grab a bit of Vasa. Perhaps a bit more. We don't know how gunky it's going to be. Pop that up there. Oh yeah. Pull the filter. So here we go. That's live filter degunking for 6 days. 150 bristle noses. There are snails inside the sponge. Oh, that one's good and full. You know, when you compress the sponge and it doesn't come back again, it's that full of gunk. I do. Clean them out again in the morning. But yeah, literally that much gunk in the filter after 6 days that it stopped. There was no water coming out of it. And if you can see how much flow that thing's actually got. But yeah, just a little bit. So there we go. Six days worth of poop from half the filter in that tank from baby plecos. Oh my god. So yes, when I say I like to do twice weekly water changes and filter cleanings on my Plecky Plek tanks, have a fry in the cup. Not anymore, I don't. No, there were some snails and some bits of gunk floating about in there. There weren't actually any pleklets in there. It would be still in the sink if it were. Is it still in the cup? No, it's just a couple of snails, Merritt. Don't panic. So, because that is actually the bigger super reds. So yeah. And as I say, tomorrow I'll do all of them. All 15 tank water changes tomorrow. I know to most people that doesn't sound like a lot, but I'm lazy. That's a lot of work for me. Then Tuesday will be a flumpy bum about day. Or no, I've got to go food shopping on Tuesday. Yes, water is good for plants. It is indeed. But by the time I've done that bottom one and all those other ones as well, and this one, and yeah, by the time I've done all of them, I've got way too much. This time of year, I don't really want stuff to be growing if I can help it outside. We've had plenty of rain lately as well, so not a problem. But yeah, I do save it, some of it, for watering plants, which is why my courgettes did well, because they lived on a diet of fish tank water and pleco poop. And while everyone else's garden was a brown, crunchy, dry mess, mine was green and lush. Well, most of it was. The front lawn was basically dead, but that's because I didn't water it. Yeah, most of the time, most of my fish water change water goes on the garden because then I don't have to pay for the sewage. Hey, these days, if you can save a few pennies, you save a few pennies. Because although my water bill isn't that high, I can knock a couple of quid off the water bill and it'll give me a bit extra for the electric bill. So that's always good. But yeah, that'll soon start clearing up now the water's moving around in there again. And what have I got over there? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've still got 10 2-litre bottles full of pleco poop water in the kitchen. I know not the best of places to store poop water, but you know, needs must. Um, as it's been piddling down with rain, and we're getting to that time of year where the courgettes die off anyway, it's not a problem. They're already going a bit crispy, so they're getting there. And I have had quite a few courgettes this year, so the outlay for the seeds and the other stuffs, which we'll just be buying seeds next year. We'll save a good amount of money because these guys easily go through a large courgette in 2 days. Mary's very good, thank you, Mary. First full week proper at her new job, all went well. Nothing too scary or that she can't handle, so that's always good. I mean, bless her, she was nervous, but that's completely understandable because she's been doing the same thing for donkey's years, and then has been out of work for quite a while and has gone into, I mean, it's a similar but slightly different. So at her last place, she basically did a fair chunk of the admin because no one else knew how to, and she figured it out. But at this place, she's the admin and will occasionally help out with the kiddies. So yeah, like all of us, when we get to a certain age, learning new computer programs and how to do things like that is kind of nerve-wracking. And same with the amount of time she's had out. She was starting to wonder whether she was employable, whether anyone would give her a job, give her a chance, as it were. And yeah, so far it's all going very well. So she's relieved. I'm very relieved, and I'm also, as you say, proud of her. She's done brilliant, and she's keeping on with the card packing as well in her off time. Because she enjoys doing that. I know it's not for most to sit there packing birthday and Christmas cards, but as she said, she can sit there at the kitchen table and do it. She can stick some videos or music on and just chill and do it. And there's no, as I'm sure a lot of people found through the pandemic and working from home, not having those constraints of you have to start at this time, you have your break at this time, you have to be back at this time, you have your lunch at this time, you have to be back at this time, you have your second break at this time, you have to be back at this time, you finish at this time. Take all those constraints away. So if you wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, you fancy doing a bit, you can do a bit. If you don't wake up early, you wake up late, or you've got other things to do, you can do those other things and then do this jobby thing later on. It's not an issue. As long as it gets done. No one cares, which I think is a good thing, and more employers could actually stand to learn from that. And as I understand, quite a lot of companies are downsizing their premises because they realize they don't need everyone to actually be at work all the time. They can do their job from home. So why pay for an office with 100 spaces when you only need an office with 20 spaces and everyone else can be at home? We've got a great day, work as much as you can. Yeah, don't overdo it. Yeah, this is it. Work to live, not live to work. Something that I think a lot of people do get the wrong way round, where employers and employees where it's like it's expected that the most important thing you do is your job. That is the most important thing. Everything else comes up. No, no, the job is a job. It's no less important than most of everything else. And a lot of employers would do well to understand that most people are only working because they need the money. If most people didn't need to work, they wouldn't. I know I wouldn't. Now, if I had enough to not have to work, then I certainly wouldn't be getting up and dealing with the public. Yeah, daughter goes to the office twice a week, company pays for her internet. Exactly. If there's no need to go into the office, why go into the office? And I think a lot of people are also realizing that a lot of meetings, the old joke is that meeting could have been an email. Yeah, I think people are actually starting to realize that, oh, that wasn't actually a joke. It was actually, oh, okay. Yeah. But let's have a meeting for half an hour and come to the decision of the first thing that the first person said. Usually the boss. No, that's not a meeting. That's just fire off an email to everyone telling them what the new thing is. It's really not that hard. Yeah, or do a Zoom meeting. Oh, I have heard of some people getting fired because, you know, they live in a house that they have children, and sometimes the children make noise or the pets make noise, and they've been fired because it's too noisy. No. I understand that employment law, certainly in America, is a lot different to the UK. In the UK, you wouldn't be able to fire someone for that. In the UK, it's actually pretty hard to fire someone. Um, yeah, especially once, if it's like a 12-week probationary period, like I'm on, then yeah, we can be let go at any point. But once you're through that and you're a proper full-time employee, it's a lot harder to sack someone than you'd think. It has to be a sackable offence or multiple offences. Um, and even then, you got to be careful because you've got to dodge all the discrimination laws as well. Which is why Mary's old bosses couldn't fire her because she didn't do anything wrong. They did, but she didn't. So, yeah. Is there a recording studio in my area? There is or was. A couple mile up the road in Spooner Row is where the Darkness used to record their albums. When they were still a thing. If they are, I don't know. I think there's one in Norwich as well somewhere. What's the name? Can't remember the name. Famous singist from the 80s. Name skips them. Kathy Dennis, that was it. I think. Yeah, also Norfolk isn't really a county known for its musical contribution to the world. Company I work for is American, had loads of claims against them for sacking people. Company had lost every claim. Everyone knows Abbey Road, yeah, of course. And that iconic picture that there is actually signs up now at that crossing. Please do not replicate the cover of the Abbey Road album because it holds all the traffic up. Yeah, that is one reason a lot of American companies either don't come to the UK or come and then leave really fast. The more sensible ones are the ones that actually look into what the employment law and the minimum wages, etc., are in the UK and go, what? You mean we actually have to pay them a proper wage and they have to have like 5 weeks holiday a year? And anything over 40 hours, we have to pay them extra? And sick time, they can have as much as they like? What? Yeah, it comes as a bit of a shock. Nothing like that in this photograph and the publicity. And that's one way to tell whether you've got an original copy of Abbey Road or a recent reissue is by looking at the cover, because on the recent reissues they've taken a cigarette out of Paul McCartney's hand. Yes. Quite why, you know. Oh, smoking. It's the bloody Beatles. That was the least of it. When they recorded Sgt. Pepper, they had to get Ringo off the ceiling. He was that high. Yeah. They're worried about a cigarette, and it's like, you do realise they were off their face on drugs most of the time, right? Yes, we can't be seen to be glamorising smoking, despite the fact that he was playing the was he the Corpse or the Undertaker? I think it was yeah. Well, I say it comes from watching a lot of the sort of, I say a lot, watching some of the sort of the entitled Karens or the I do work here, I don't work here. Yeah, those kind of Reddit type videos on YouTube. Bare feet were associated with death room, which led to Klaatu. Yes. Oh, God, conspiracy theorists. They'll latch onto anything. They decide they don't like something, and then they figure out a reason somehow to equate it with something bad. Not really. Do you think these things would like secretly advertise that they were satanic, or do you think they might keep that quiet because it might hurt sales? Yeah, the next coming of the Beatles. Well, yeah. There's people have said, are they the next Beatles for about 3 million other bands since, and nobody's made it. So, yeah, it's one of those. Are Oasis the next Beatles? No. Even Ringo was a better drummer. Oh. Oh, come on. I do a really good Beatles sound though from Toronto. Well. And the Beatles sound isn't too hard to get, really. I mean, vocals obviously tricky, but just basically getting the right instruments and Marshall amps and you're sorted. Yeah. And weirdly, I've never been a huge fan of the Beatles, but that's mostly because I prefer my songs a bit longer and heavier and more metallic and grungier, usually. Itchy Lug. Singer sounded like John as Paul was dead. Yeah. Yeah, that one still goes around. Yeah, the Paul McCartney we have nowadays is an imposter. Really. You'd think they'd just get Stuart Sutcliffe back in, wouldn't you, really? Oh, old music geek alert. Mind you, anytime Chewie's around, it's going to get music geeky. Always does. Yeah, so back on the old employment law. It's just, for those of us on the outside looking in at the US, when we look at your employment laws and your minimum wages and the way things are set up, and we're like, are you still in the Victorian era? Is it still a workhouse? Is that what you're operating there? Is it a workhouse where you basically own the staff? That's pretty much what it seems like to us, anyway. Chewy had the album, Early White Witch, very, very similar tone. That's a tone that not many people can copy. Hippos are quite good at it, but that's about it. And yes, I'm aware I'm virtually chain smoking again today, but hey, only live once. Been a stressful, heavy week. Lots of getting out of breath and heavy lifting, which has cleared my lungs out, so we need to refill them again. There's too much oxygen in my caffeine stream. What else can we waffle about today? What else have I got to waffle about? I don't think I've seen anything outrageous or that other people might find remotely interesting. I did find out in the UK we have many places that are public, free to roam, so people can go there and wander around freely. It's not a problem. It's not, but there's no actual public right of way to get to them. So the only way you can get there is to trespass. Oh, Marritt's out again, sitting up his hard work. Oh, bless you, my dear. Well, have a good lay down. I'm not going to make that joke if you're not feeling well, because we don't want you coughing your guts up. But yeah, have a lay down, have a snooze, try and eat whatever you can, and plenty of fluids. Oh, love you too. Mwah. Get well soon, my dear. You know where I am if you need me. Yeah, I think in most places up here, yeah, you get a pocket of land that anyone can use, but it's enveloped by private land that you're not allowed to go across, which is an interesting concept. I'm not quite sure how it ended up like that. Maybe in the past there were public footpaths leading there, but they've been forgotten or abolished over the centuries. This is weird. You'll get a public footpath somewhere, and it's all signposted, and it doesn't really go anywhere. Like, but then there are places that you might like to visit and walk around because they're lovely and pretty and nice, and you can't. There was one like that today, where up at Kimberley Church, where the churchyard backs onto open pasture, meadow, parkland, let's call it. but that belongs to Kimberley Hall, so you can't go on it. At least, well, I mean, legally you shouldn't go on it, but at least you're not going to get shot in the UK if you do. You might find a farmer going, "Get off my land," with a shotgun. But he's not actually going to shoot you just for trespassing. And so generally, as I found as a kiddo, finding various places to fish that didn't cost money. Because yes, if you want to go fishing here, it costs you money. Most places are owned. Yeah, so there'd be a pit or pond in the middle of a farmer's field. And you'd find it on the Ordnance Survey map, and you sort of have a look and go, maybe. So you then go, right, it belongs to that farm. Get on your bike, go to the farm. Exactly, you got. That's the only way you hear it. You don't hear, "Excuse me, would you please get off of my land?" It's, "Get off my land." Yeah. But yeah, so you go up to the farmhouse, knock on the door, stand there all politely. "Oh, excuse me. We were just wondering if it'd be okay if we looked at the pond or the pit in the field over there, because we were wondering if we'd be able to go fishing in it. And then we won't cause any damage and won't leave any mess or anything like that. We'll leave it as we find it." Most of the time, farmers are absolutely fine with it. And once you've been a couple of times, they just wave at you or come over and see if you caught anything. Because whereas if you just turn up there and you've not been given permission, yeah, you'll get told to bugger off. That's like, it's all about being polite and asking nicely, using your manners. And then you'll. No, it's funny that, isn't it? If you behave well and act nicely and politely, you tend to get what you're after. "Jeeves, bring the car around front. One is going for peasant shooting." Yeah, I can do that accent as well, but that's purely because of where I'm from originally. Oh yes, and that reminded me of the great Jeeves and Wooster with Stephen Fry and Hugh Laurie. Just epic program. If you've not seen Jeeves and Wooster, yes, it's just as posh can be. And yeah, it's just, well, it's Fry and Laurie, so it's going to be hilarious. And that is Hugh Laurie's actual voice, not the American accent he put on for House. That's his proper English, normal voice. Because he's an actor and he can do different accents. Stephen Fry just sounds like Stephen Fry, whatever he does. But that's cool. Because Stephen Fry is kind of like the Queen. He's probably been called a Queen quite a few times. Yeah, he's one of those sort of national treasures of the UK and of my fair county, because he lives, about 15 mile that way. He is an absolute legend. Smart, funny, witty, interesting. He's actually quite interesting. Yeah, there's only Brits are going to get that joke. But yeah, he's yeah. If you look up being English in a dictionary, there would be a picture of Stephen Fry there. Yes, you see. I reckon that's possibly where I've channeled my sense of humour from is Stephen Fry. I'm obviously nowhere near as funny as he is, but there we go. Can't have everything. I'm actually kind of surprised I've not seen him, considering that I've worked in some of the shops that I know he's been in. Because he does just, when he's not in his place in London, when he's up here, he goes about his business like every normal person does. And he's, this kind of thing, I mean, to a lesser extent, happens here because of the racetrack a few miles down the road, we tend to get all the racing drivers and, well, the Norwich footballers, if you can call them that. Quite a few of them actually live in Attleborough, so served them many a time. And yeah, they're just normal people. You don't go, oh my God, it's it's Pookie, or oh my God, it's Martin Donnelly. Yeah, you know who they are, and you're, oh, hello Martin, how are you? Then you try and figure out what he's saying because he's still got a very broad Irish accent and is a tad tricky to understand sometimes. But yeah, lovely guy. And back in the day, we even got the F1 teams up here as well. So, and that was back when I was working at the model shop. So we had the Jaguar team up, we had the Orange Arrows team up. So you get someone like Jos Verstappen come in with, at the time I didn't realise who his little boy was. So yeah, I've met Max Verstappen. So yeah, Justin Wilson and all the other guys from the F1 teams that tested up at Snetterton. Oh, hello, Spotty. What are you up to? Yeah, sorry, buddy. I cleaned all the algae off the glass. I know it's getting a bit slippery now, isn't it? Hey. Yeah, I'm trying to think who else have I served? A local MP. I didn't even realise who he was. I think famous people probably prefer it when they just get treated like normal people. I mean, I would. Not that I'm ever going to be famous. I might get infamous, but never going to be famous. But now, I'd rather just get treated like a normal person, not like some special treatment. Now, I wouldn't want people to close the shop so I can shop privately or anything, or open up early or stay open late just for me. None of that. I'll still be wandering around. I'll still be wandering around Lidl's with my headphones on. Ronnie Corbett and Nancy Lamb. Cool. So I think most of the places I've worked, if I tried to serve Ronnie Corbett, I would have had to have leant over the counter to see him. Especially one stop. The counter there is ludicrously high. Not together. Yeah. That would have been weird. That would have been a very surreal day. Yeah, I bet treated them like normal people and they would have appreciated it. Difference between Sir Bob Geldof and a journalist frontman Bob Geldof. Yes, exactly. Yeah. I'll say if I saw Bob Geldof walking down the street, I would be like, oh, take my hat off. Afternoon, Sir Bob. I'd be like, oh, hi, Bob. Probably try and instantly come up with a random quote out of one of his songs. Not something obvious. Boomtown Rats' first professional gig in Vancouver. Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't want to quote something from I Don't Like Mondays. You have to go something, I mean, even Rat Trap you might get away with, but quoting something from I Don't Like Mondays is just be like, yeah, I heard that 3,000 times a day. There are some people I would probably fanboy. There's a great journalist and a very cool frontman. He is. We won't go into what happened with Live Aid afterwards, where the money went, but that wasn't necessarily his fault. But yeah, I'm pretty sure if I met Floor Jansen, I'd probably fanboy out and just be completely tongue-tied and not be able to get a word out. And selfie. There's not many women I would have to reach up to hug. She's one of them. Yeah, I would say there's probably not that many people I would fanboy out over. I've met enough famous people in my life for it not to be, oh my God, it's such and such. I mean, hell, I survived meeting Jimmy Savile, so, you know, and I survived it without a sore backside as well. Say no more. Actually, funnily, quite a few of the people I have met are now dead. I wonder, nah, that's nothing to do with me. No, he didn't. As a kid, the one thing I really wanted, or the two things I really wanted, were a Blue Peter badge, which is going to go over any Americans' heads, and a Jim will fix it badge, which will go so far over most Americans' heads, it's unreal. But I don't know. Do you reckon a Jim will fix it badge? Because they were bling, weren't they? Do you reckon they're worth more now than they were before the whole thing happened with Operation Yewtree and that? Do you reckon they were going up in price slowly? That happened and they went whop off a cliff. But probably so many of them got just thrown in the bin that now the prices are going back up again. Yeah, Blue Peter badge. Everyone wanted a Blue Peter badge. And it had to be the right Blue Peter, the one with the right theme music before they changed it all. I can't remember what the name of the tune is, and I'm not going to start humming it or singing it because that will get copyright struck. There's going to be some collectors out there, Dan, for things like that. Come on, there are people that buy Nazi memorabilia. So the same with the Rolf Harris painting. Are they now worthless, or are they actually going up in value. It's although that whole debacle did bring new meaning to his catchphrase. Can you tell what it is yet? And yeah, sorry, Adele, if you're still here, for bringing up your countryman and what he was doing. Crying over a sick pet one day and the next day, yeah. Yeah, well, it was a big square thing that said Jim fixed it for me, and it was on a big red ribbon that hung around your neck. Big old bling medallion thing you wanted, the Jim will fix it badge. Those and the blankety blank checkbook and pen. Oh dear. Does anyone even have a checkbook these days? Most people probably don't even have pens anymore. They just make a note in their phone. It's like they don't realise they've got this vast expanse of skin that they can write stuff on. And yes, we all knew the person who cheated and wrote notes like equations and stuff on their hand to cheat in a maths test, and we're like, if I close my hand, no one will see it. Got in there and they'd sweat and it all just run. And they couldn't read it, and then panicked and failed their exam. I'm not saying they should have studied more and revised more, because I didn't do any revision for any exams ever. I don't know, would you class it as a revision if you were just like reading a science book because you enjoyed it? Is that classed as revision? On hell, I hardly ever took notes, even, especially at college. Mind you, it's hard to take notes when you're not even there most of the time, isn't it? So, yeah. Richie still carries a pen and notebook. Yes. So I've normally got a pen in a pocket. And while I don't carry a notebook, I do have a packet of cigarette papers. And there's normally a bit of, especially if I'm at work, there's a piece of cardboard in my pocket. There's the times when you'll need to write a location, or a list of things you need to get from out back working in a food store, or where I'm now, like a location you got to go to get something from, or you're moving something from A to B. First of all, you got to find an empty location to move it to, so you write that one down, because chances are by the time you've gone back to the first place, you've forgotten where the other one was. So yeah, write it down, you don't forget then. Even if just the act of writing it down means you remember it. But yeah, you can always tell which till I've been working on at work, because there's a piece of paper with a whole bunch of random numbers scribbled on it that just meant I didn't have to remember it or do the cut and paste. Just quickly just write it down and figure all that stuff out every time. I say figure it out. I know how to do it. It's the click, highlight, the cut, paste. But write it down. Go back to the other screen. Wrote a letter on a wrist with the army. Exactly, it's paper. Yeah. Certain times of the year, especially if I've got a bit of a cold or something, I'll have tissues or toilet roll or kitchen paper in my pocket, and I've wrote notes on that many a time. Then blow my nose on it, thrown it away, and wonder where I put the note. Or dig around in your pocket or your wallet and you find a receipt or a coupon from somewhere. Yeah, whatever. Scribble it on that. Job done. Yeah, you do what you need to. Yeah, probably because I was in the Cubs and the Scouts. Be prepared. So, yeah, got a pen in your pocket. Usually got a small slicey device, whether it be a box cutter or a multi-tool or something like that, which is technically illegal nowadays if it's got a locking blade on it. Although I think carrying around a multi-tool, you're probably going to get away with it. By the time if you're going to get in a fight, by the time you've got your multi-tool out, unfolded it, folded the knife out, folded it all back up so you can wield it like a knife, you've been knocked out anyway. Or the person's run away, or you've been stabbed. And yeah, it's also down one of those things, if you can prove a good reason for carrying it, whether I might need a screwdriver, a pair of pliers, a knife, a saw, something for getting stones out of horses' hooves. Why do they still put those in? And a fish scaler? Has anyone ever used those? Because I know I've not. Other than to like scratch an itch or something. And a very crude, carry a Leatherman on my belt, old habits die hard. Yeah. I mean, this is it. I know that the law is in black and white, but there is a grey area. There has to be. Because certain people are carrying these things for a reason. A non-criminal reason. And half the time with me, it's I forget. I mean, I'm not going to come home from work, go, oh yeah, I've got to pop to the shops. Let me take my box cutter knife out of my pocket so I don't get into any trouble. It's going to be, right, yeah, drop one bag off, pick up my other bag, off I go. I'm not going to faff about it. I did make someone laugh the other week in Lidl. Because Sainsbury's were out of Coke, so I had to get the really, really cheap Coke from Lidl. It's not good. But it's in the 6-packs, and I only wanted like a bottle. And you're allowed to take them out of the 6-pack. It's not like a multi-pack. So I was like, oh, hang on, I still got my work shorts on. So I dug my hand in my pocket, pulled out my box cutter, cut the wrap around the thing, and pulled the bottle out. And one of the staff members is just cracking up laughing. They're like, yeah, you've worked in shops before, haven't you? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's come from one, actually. It's a legitimate reason to have one. I'm going shopping at Lidl and I might need to cut the packaging open. Heck, we've all done it where we've bought something that you need there and then, and it's got some annoying piece of tape closing the box. And you can never get your bloody fingernail cut or thumbnail cut the tape when you want it to. So, yeah, just having something in your pocket that will cut the tape. It's just so much easier. As long as you don't stand there in the middle of a crowded area and go, slice. As long as you're subtle about it, yeah, you're fine. Saying that, I'll probably get arrested at some point for it. But there we go. Anyway, according to Pooter and the lights, my time is up. Now, I believe Mary Page is on with Jimmy next. Jimmy P. Or Brianne, one or the other. Someone's on after me. I think even Corey might be on after me. Although with it being the Clash this weekend, he might not. But anyway, thanks to everyone for turning up, for listening to me waffle for a couple of hours. I'll see if I can find out a bit more. So if anybody does want, then I can forward the email address on to contact the chap to get them. But yes, thank you very much. Have fun. Stay safe. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Peace out. Rock on. And bye-bye. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Ah.